What's up, idols? It's Cece Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video if you want more videos like this or if you want a part 2 to this. Also, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see my first K-pop concert vlog next week. JB's coming to London. I've never been to a K-pop. I've been to like festivals before where like a group of people perform. So I'm very nervous and excited, and we got VIP. I want to vlog it. Let me know if that's what you guys want to see by liking this video and subscribing. Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in all the videos ever on my channel, I have K-pop music playing in the background. So if you can like listen out for it and tell me in the comments which songs you hear, see if we can name the most, see if you can name them and identify them below in the comments. And before we get into this video, I have a question of the day for you. I know most Spotify users get excited with sharing their top 5 Wrapped Spotify 2022. I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. In the comments, tell me what your top 5 artists were on Spotify and your top 5 songs, because I'm very curious. I've been listening to a lot of BB. Do y'all listen to BB? Because I love BB.
Yo, I love you more than you love me. Mwah.
You better stop! Also, Namjoon's Indigo. So yeah, you guys see the title of this video, you guys see what this is gonna be about, so let's get right into it. Now, for those who don't know, I was an English teacher in South Korea from 2017 to 2019, and I go back every year to visit, with the exception of 2020 because pandemic. So in 2020 I didn't go. 2021 I was there from like February to June, and then this year I was there from May to August. So I go back and spend a lot of time in Korea. So let's get right into it. What is it like to be a foreigner in Korea truly? Everything from the safety, the prejudice, different treatment you might experience, opportunities you might have as a foreigner, and of course dating. So one of the first things I want to mention, being a foreigner in South Korea means you do get more attention. For better or for worse, whether you like it or not, people stare at you. People might avoid you on the bus, or they might just not want to be near you because they might be scared that you'll start a conversation with them to speak in English and they're not that good, so they just gonna need to walk away. Some people like that attention. Some people like it when people are staring at you. You know, you feel like you own the sidewalk, you own the pavement, this is your runway. People might want to take pictures of you or with you. I can't explain that, but it's happened to me a few times. Sometimes they want to touch your hair, ew. But they also might just smile at you for no reason. There's been plenty of times where I'm just on the bus looking around and I'll see an Ajumma just look at me and just... But there were also a lot of times where I honestly felt like an animal at the zoo. People take pictures, they stare, they point and whisper, and it's just like, oh, look at that! Look at one of those! Look, Junyoung! Oh, there's a foreigner in the wild! It's just the way they observe sometimes just makes me uncomfortable. That's just me. A lot of people like that attention, so... C'est la vie. Like, one of the things I can honestly say, every time I leave Korea, I feel like a normal human again. I don't have to worry about being stared at or feeling like I'm the only kind of me. You know what I mean? Because let's be real, there's not a whole lot of foreigners in Korea. Like, these days, yes, there are more and more and more foreigners, but you got to get used to being the only one of your kind. And that's very uncomfortable for some people. That's how I felt. So let's talk about some of the fun stuff in South Korea as a foreigner. Nightlife. I mean, first of all, one of the things that was like really a shock to me is when you go out, especially at night, most of the music you hear is like Western music. Like when you start to dance, people will form a circle around and be like, oh, oh, oh. So yeah, there are times where it makes you feel special, makes you feel like a star, makes you feel good. But when it's every day, it's just kind of like, I just want to blend in. I just want to be not seen. I just want to go to work and mind my business. Like before I went to Korea, I was not at all a clubber. I maybe went to like 2 or 3 bars in the States. When I got to Korea, sis, I was a clubber. Why did I say it like that? And I think that's why I have so many clubbing in Korea story times. It's kind of sad. And I always see so many foreigners in the clubs, and honestly that's a good way to make other foreigner friends. If you don't see them at school, like where you work, or if you're a student, you could probably meet them in these clubs. Like they be out here in these streets. Like that's like the best way to meet foreigner friends. Next, prejudice and judgment. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Depending on the type of foreigner you are, your experiences will vary greatly in South Korea. If you appear to be white or have a European background, life in Korea is going to be a lot easier to you, like many other places around the world. If you have a color, some pigment, some melanin in your skin, you might have some challenges. The assumptions, the stereotypes, not great when you're a person of color. Perfect example, I hate to admit it, but the other day, one of my friends, Bubble TG Seoul, she sent me a video like, oh my god, have you seen this? And it was a drunk American military man beating up a Korean taxi driver somewhere, I think in Seoul. And his face was blurred and everything, but he looked white, and I hate to say it, that was a relief to me, because for some reason when you're like a foreigner, especially a foreigner of color, you represent all of your people. Like if one black person does this, then we all do this, whereas one white person does this and he's just the exception. If this soldier was black, I feel like there'd be a lot more negative repercussions for black people in general. Like, oh, be careful, they beat up taxi drivers for no reason. But white people in Korea's eyes, and in much of the world, I'm not trying to say this is specifically a Korea thing, but they can do no wrong. So yeah, just your experience as a foreigner based on how you look and where you come from is gonna make a world of difference. Whenever I hear about some sort of like sad or really messed up incident, I'm always like, please don't be black, please don't be black, please don't be black. Like, no matter how many white men go into a public place and shoot it up, somehow black men are always the danger. That's not what this video is about. I'm sorry, I digress. We're moving on. Now, I think when you're a foreigner, modeling, things like modeling and entertainment tends to come a little easier. I only say that because I think there's not as many opportunities for foreigners to get work. Now, obviously, you gotta have all the right visas and documentations and working papers and stuff. But if you're a foreigner who speaks Korean, chances are you'll be easily cast as like extras in movies and shows, music videos, maybe commercials, things like that. But I think as more foreigners move to South Korea, that's definitely becoming a more crowded, competitive field and industry. I can't speak too much on that because I was never interested in like modeling or acting or music, or like I like music, but I never auditioned or anything like that, is what I'm saying. I've seen so many interviews as of late where, you know, white girls are talking about their time in Korea and how when they first got there, things were so much easier for them to find work. But now that Korea is attempting to diversify a little bit, it's actually a lot more common now to see like black and brown models on billboards and stuff too. I'm just like, wow, or half Korean, half black. I'm like, wow, okay, you're trying. I'm appreciating the effort. But even when we had our orientation in the talk program when I was a teacher, they showed us all the talk scholars that went on to be like actors in South Korea who were foreigners, and like all the gigs they did and how they blew up. Something interesting, you know, if that's what you fancy to look into, because the entertainment industry as a foreigner in Korea is, you know how you watch these dramas, right? And you watch these movies, these Korean movies, and you see like the same actor. Their acting skills might not be the best.
Find it hard to believe the host would miss a night like tonight.
Listen, I'm willing to give anybody some slack. That's not a problem.
But like they say their lines and they're the token foreigner. Get there, you know, shoot your shot. You definitely feel the pressure to look a certain way. And it can't be helped, because if you live in a country or visit a country enough, you do tend to assimilate a little bit. You gotta have great skin, you gotta have like those pouty lips, those big round eyes that they love so much, the world's tiniest face, tiny body and frame. And I've said this before, but as a foreigner, you may find yourself getting compliments on your eyes, like things you never really considered, like whether they're blue or you just have like double eyelids, because a lot of Koreans get double eyelid surgery. So it's like these things, they'll be like, wow, you have such nice eyes, you have such big eyes, and that might seem insulting, but it's actually a compliment from them. When you stay in a country or in a place long enough, that's a culture that's different from yours, you do notice, like in South Korea, you might notice your poses will change, the way you dress will change, the way you do your makeup might change, your hair might change. You might talk different, sound different, do more aegyo and act cutesy. And I'm gonna be completely honest, being in South Korea as a foreigner is not for the faint of heart. I started to develop insecurities I didn't even know I had. Like before I went to South Korea, I didn't really feel one way or the other about my skin. Like I never thought my skin looked dull, or that it wasn't, like my pores were too big, or that it wasn't tight and plump enough. I was just like, yo, I don't have any acne, that's good skin to me. But in Korea, you want to have like this glowy, dewy, healthy, glassy looking skin. And I was insecure that I didn't have that. And then you find yourself, well, me and a lot of my friends and people I've talked to who lived in South Korea, you do tend to find yourself being ghosted by people in Korea, whether you're just trying to make friends or you're trying to date. And we're gonna get more into that a little bit later. Stay tuned, don't worry. We're gonna definitely talk about dating. Like, it really started to make me feel like, damn, am I really not worth getting to know? Because these people will be so excited to match with you or to talk with you, or like Korean girls in the club. I always go on about how much I love Korean girls in the club. They're like, whoa, like you're so cute, and oh my god, and I'm studying English at university, and oh my god, like we should talk and hang out. Plans never come to fruition, or like they cancel last minute and then you just never hear from them again. I'm like, were they just drunk and forgot me? It does get very hard when you feel, you know, you see the way girls look in movies and dramas, music videos, on the billboards, everywhere. And you know you look nothing like that. You don't have skin like Casper. I have always been considered skinny in the West. Like, for reference, I'm like 5'4", was that 164 centimeters? And I weigh about 23 pounds. And that's what, like 55 or 56 kg. And even when I would go shopping and try to find, you know, they have a lot of clothes that are free size or one size, and they didn't fit me. All this to say, it is very easy to feel isolated in Korea when you're a foreigner. Whether it's your race, your appearance, your culture, the language, It's a very isolating feeling sometimes, but let's get into some more of the good. South Korea is also a very exciting place, especially when you're a K-pop fan, a K-drama fan. You're finally in this place. You're like, oh my god, I watch this on the dramas. Oh my god, I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to try this. Oh my god, you hear the music coming out from every shop and cafe. You see everything for sale. You're just like, oh, I'm in Korea. All these bright neon lights, noraebang. It's very fun and exciting. So don't get me wrong, it's a fun place to be. Everybody has that dream and that hope of like running into Lee Ha-jun or Jungkook in a cafe. Unlikely, but it could happen. Another thing I always go on about on my channel is the safety in South Korea. And a lot of people tell me, oh, you should stop saying it's... a lot of people tell me I should stop saying that Korea is a safe place. When what I'm going on is the countries I've lived in by comparison. And if you rank countries based on especially the major developed countries based on safety, Korea is pretty consistently high up there. Not to say in recent years it hasn't been tumbling down. There's been a lot more drug use in Korea, a lot more assault and stalking cases, things like that. But you're also a lot less likely to be the victim of robberies and muggings. You're also less likely to be like a shooting or a stabbing. Stabbings do happen, but they're rare. Like, we cannot deny the women's issues in Korea. I keep reading how Korea is consistently one of the worst countries as far as female to male pay gap and inequality. There definitely needs to be more laws and stronger laws and laws without loopholes to protect these victims. For example, if I call you 1,000 times and you don't want me to contact you, it's not stalking unless you pick up the phone call according to Korea law. What? That makes no sense. Like, well, he didn't really stalk you and harass you because you never picked up the phone. Like, I know Korea has a lot of its problems, but compared to other countries, it's still pretty well off as far as safety goes. And Korea, for example, is one of these countries where if you're out shopping or clubbing and you leave your wallet, you lose your phone, you can't find your car keys, it is incredibly likely that someone will actually turn it in and you'll get it back. That blew my mind. I did not have that concept at all growing up in America. Like, when I see somebody's wallet, I give it back to them. You know, we all like good karma. Just this morning, I'm on Instagram stories and my friend realized she lost her wallet and then she actually found it. Like, normally people see stuff and they're like, ooh, it's my lucky day. I don't know, I just think that's incredible. Now, the pièce de résistance. Dating in Korea as a foreigner. Korea is all, like any country, full stop, can be a very lonely country if you're there by yourself. If you're away from your family, if you don't have many friends, it can already be a very lonely place, especially when you go to a country and you're just working. And when you're in a new country single and there are couples everywhere, it's even worse, fam. So yeah, when you're a foreigner trying to date in Korea, the odds are already against you. Not only is there a cultural difference, and unless you speak Korean fluently, there's the language difference. So yeah, dating apps do seem like the most convenient thing because you can see, like, you don't want to just go up to a random Korean but 영어 할 수 있어요? 혹시 영어만 해요? So like, dating apps are very convenient when you're a foreigner in Korea. That's just natural. But in Korea, dating apps are almost exclusively used for hookups. Like, not to say you can't meet someone decent. I know 2 people who met their now husbands on Tinder. I even met one of my exes on Tinder. We didn't have like a messy relationship or breakup. It ended up being a distance thing, completely amicable. He was a gem, but you also have the families who are to foreigners. Like, let's be real, you can't avoid racism, racist families. Whereas in the West, for example, like, I've only been back on these dating apps for about a month, and so far I haven't had that issue of someone just trying to hook up. Like, I've been talking with guys who actually maintain communication and actually want to meet up and actually get to know you and ask questions and respond and reply. I think Tinder in general is a hookup, Tinder swindler type of app now. I think that's kind of ruined. But apps like Bumble and Hinge, I think over here people still use them to actually try to meet people. Over there it's used for hookups in general. Like, getting ghosted is a worldwide thing. It happens everywhere. But I don't think I've ever experienced it being so sudden as when I was in Korea, where things would be normal and there'd be a solid flow of communication and plans to meet up, and then suddenly just nothing.
He's a phantom.
The thing is, in South Korea, I think the government, the politics, the media is very sexually oppressed. When they see foreigners and how foreign media and videos and everything is and the way foreign women dress, they kind of just assume, oh, they are inherently sexual. That means this will be easy. That means this is what they're about. That means this should be fun and quick. They're open-minded. So yeah, I think they do assume that foreigners are like that. Foreigners want FWB, ONS, hookup, things like that. So there's just already so many odds stacked against you. Not to say it's not possible. I know a lot of foreigners who have met real people in Korea and they have families, they're married, like it's working. Just expect a lot of obstacles, a lot. There are pros to being in South Korea as a foreigner. I think the biggest pro that I've experienced personally is the work expectations vast greatly. You do not have the same strict hard work expectations as your Korean counterpart, at least when you're an English teacher. Like a lot of the stuff that you can't finish or don't finish or they don't expect you to finish, they'll give to your like Korean coworkers or the Korean principal, or like if there's like a I don't want to say a head teacher, like a mentor teacher that's supposed to be watching over you, they'll be responsible for all of that. You can go home early, they stay and have to work. Koreans get very few holidays in general. You get a lot more holidays as an English teacher than they do. It's crazy. Though everything has its pros and cons, but that's my favorite pro. Like, I still love to go and visit. That hasn't changed. I still plan to go and visit. I'll probably be back over there in the spring. So yeah, thanks for watching if you did. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.